Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasha, I am your host, and in today's video we are going to review the floating Betta exercise mirror. I've seen this in Betta groups so many times and people use them all the time in their Betta tanks, and I've never tried this before. So I'm going to be trying it for the first time. We're going to be looking at this product kind of as a whole and test it out with some Bettas, and we're going to talk about any pros and cons, and we're going to find out if this is a good thing to buy for your Betta fish. So let's get started. So here is the floating Betta mirror. It is made by Zoomed. It says that it reduces boredom from captivity. Watch your Betta perform natural behaviors. It says small mirror suspended with floating ball, and when your Betta sees his reflection, he will exercise his fins. Has the little logo both on the ball and on the mirror itself. And in the back, let's take a look at some of the instructions. It says carefully remove the package and rinse in warm water. Place the exercise mirror in with your Betta for a maximum 5 minutes at a time, once or twice per day. Designed for minimum 1 gallon enclosures. It may take your Betta a few tries to get used to the mirror. And that's kind of it right there. I actually think, to be honest, usually I'm pretty harsh on all these Betta products, but this is actually not bad advice. I can't really see anything wrong with this at the moment, just looking at the packaging itself. So let's open this up so we can take a closer look. So our first little tester of the Betta mirror will be Sunny, my veil-tail Betta. He is about a little over 2 years old at this point and kind of lives in this 20-gallon tall with, at the moment, just 3 endlers. So he doesn't have any fishy friends, but he's the most active Betta I've ever owned, actually. All he does is swim all day, every day. So I already rinsed the mirror, and the first thing I did was actually check. I touched the edges to make sure that they're not sharp, because I don't want this to be dangerous for him or him to cut himself on it in any way. And just by rubbing my hands, it's definitely not sharp at all. What I don't like about this is they put the logo on the mirror. Why? I don't know. There's already one on the ball. I know that they want to promote their product, but I think it's kind of ugly with right there, and you can't even tell kind of what's on here. You can barely tell it's Zoomed. You can't even tell the type of fish that's supposed to be on the logo because it's just an ugly blob. I did check the edges, so I was touching it to make sure it's not sharp. I don't want this to be something that my fish can, you know, cut himself on. And Sunny is definitely eager. Oh my gosh, this does not want to focus, but Sunny's eager to be my little tester. Oh, he's there. There we get it. We got a flare. Oh, that's so cute. So he kind of flared at it and then came back, and he's kind of swimming around. I think I have to zoom out a little bit. He's kind of hanging around on both sides. Now he's using it to rest. Yeah, he's an old guy. So after this, I'm going to try this out with a younger Betta. As you can see, he did a little tiny flare, and now he's going to use the mirror as a place to relax. Oh my gosh, focus, focus, there we go. And now the Endler's using it. Okay, apparently this works on Endlers. This Endler is very amused by it. So I guess your other fish will look at it. I don't know if they're necessarily gonna benefit from this in any way, but they do find it interesting. Now the funny thing is I have to wait because I don't want to move this while Sunny's resting on it, because I don't want to disturb him. Yep, he's just, this is not the intended purpose of this mirror. It's supposed to be for flaring, but clearly it is a resting place for Sunny. Sunny does what Sunny wants to do. Well, this little Endler is kind of going crazy. Things never turn out how they're supposed to. But it's not a bad thing. Okay, let's see. Attempt number 2. Will he want to flare at it? Nope. After the fail with Sunny, I decided to try this out with a younger and more spunky Betta that I got at the IBC Betta show. I actually have a pretty cool video about that where I attended the competition and also volunteered there. So check it out if you want to see where I got him from. But as soon as I dropped in the mirror, like right away, he decided to have a flare party because he is young, he is spunky, and he wants to do his little happy murder dance. So I guess if you have a Betta that is willing, the mirror does work and can be a tool that you can use for flaring. You can also use a normal mirror, like a hand mirror, and just put it up to your tank. That will work just fine. But I do kind of like how this floats around inside and moves around, because that way the fish can actually interact with it a bit more instead of it being a stationary reflection. Now there are some myths going around that flaring is bad for bettas, and that is actually not true. It is a natural betta behavior and is also a great form of exercise because it allows them to use muscles that they normally would not use when they are normally swimming around your tank. It lets them really stretch out, and it's actually a good way to check your betta's health because you get to see all of their finnage and see if there's any damage, if there's any parasites or anything wrong with them, because it also kind of helps you keep them in one spot so you can get a much closer look at them. Now the reason why people think flaring is bad, because excessive flaring for very long periods of time can cause some issues. It can cause some bettas to nip their own fins and self-mutilate, or it can cause those gills that they're using to flare to get stuck open from them flaring so much. So that does happen, which is why I like that the mirror itself in the instructions says to only use it for about 5 minutes, which in my opinion is a pretty good amount of time. I do wonder if I can actually use this to flare train some bettas that I want to breed and later on have to temporarily jar, or if this can even be used in a Betta jar. I know it's said not to use it in anything smaller, but I'm curious to find out if it would work out. Definitely, this guy is having a fun time. I actually thought that maybe I should change his name to Angry Boy because he is the angriest of boys and very sassy and has a ton of personality. And I'm not sure, maybe I should breed him. Not really sure. But speaking of breeding, I actually have this pretty little female that is a veil tail. She's super cute, and as you can see, she will flare at the mirror as well, which is an indicator that if you have a single female in a tank by her lonesome and you want to add some mental enrichment and stimulation, this mirror might be a pretty good option. But once again, it really depends on the individual betta. Some bettas might be into this, some might not, so just keep that in mind when you purchase this product. That being said, I want to point out that this girl has quite a beard on her. Domestic bettas are very interesting because sometimes females will exhibit certain physical characteristics of males, and sometimes males will have more female-like characteristics. I don't exactly know why that happens, but in this case, this girl, she's got a pretty big beard, which is that part underneath her gills at the bottom, which is usually what you would see on a male. Speaking of more males, this is Raspberry. As you guys know, he was a male I spawned last year, and he is a super senior betta. He is even older than Sunny, and as you can see, he kind of checked it out, checked if it was food, it's not food, he could care less, and kind of went about his way. Now lastly, we're gonna have a special boy over here. This is a, I would say, not newer betta I acquired. I've had this guy for a while now, but he is what I really think would be best described as a genetic hot mess. He is a chronic fin biter, and he's not the smartest fish. As you can see, I showed him the mirror, and then he just swam off and decided to go flare at the wall and got confused. Overall, he's not very smart. Even when it comes to feeding, he struggles to figure out what is food, what isn't. He flares at the most random things and is not really a good example of a genetically, I don't know, well-bred, healthy fish. He's definitely a fish I will not breed. He will be a pet fish, but he's not the smartest boy. But either way, I wanted to try this mirror out with him. I don't think I'm gonna use this with him because he just gets confused and just starts flaring at everything in his tank, and I don't want to stress him out. So this is an example of a fish that I probably would not be using this mirror on.
So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more awesome Betta content. I have a lot of Betta tanks that I've been reviewing recently, so if you want to see more Betta related reviews, definitely check those out. I also have a Betta breeding series, other tutorials, lots of cool Betta stuff. So there will definitely be something that hopefully you might enjoy. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye!